Many times you may be wondering whatever happens when you're going to pursue a certain dream of yours, or you're going for a business trip, or any service that you would hope to be rendered to you. Many times the very institutions that we hope to provide very good services or are here to protect us or to owe a duty of care to us in the simplest and most efficient way possible let us down. In today's video, I'm here to discuss with you the lawsuit that I have instituted against Air Tanzania and all the things that follow thereafter. I'm also going to discuss with you how to sue a big institution or company and be able to win in the best way possible for you to get damages. So let's go. Welcome back to Simply Legal, everyone, and once again, Happy New Year. It's been a very long time since we last had anything on this channel. It's been about 2 weeks since I produced a video, but that's because of the festivities and everything that has been happening all over the world. However, regardless of that, my viewers of Simply Legal, you will always get the best of me and you will always get the best legal knowledge possible. Before we jump into the video, a quick shout out to the people who have dressed me up today. Very good news is that as we continue growing on the channel, more people who are coming to support the channel come here and there to contact your very own counsel. A quick shout out to Abby Ties, because Abby has been able to dress me up with this very exquisite tie and pocket square. So for you gentlemen, whoever wants to buy exquisite ties or to look good for a function or anywhere else, please visit Abby Ties. I'm going to leave the link in the description to their shop, and I'm going to basically post everything on my social media about who they are, what they do, and the products that they offer to suit the best needs possible. So aside from that, the major issue that I've come to address to you today is that I'm going to sue Air Tanzania. And many of you may be wondering or may have been seeing me on different social media platforms that have been posting my demand notice about how I'm going to demand for compensation. So I just want to start from the very beginning of where this began from. On about 20th of November 2022, I made a trip to Arusha, Tanzania to attend the East African Law Conference. Now, for many of you viewers, especially the corporate type or the working class, the 9 to 5 people, many of you have flown to different countries and destinations for business trips. And I don't know whether this has happened to you or just to me, but your luggage ends up getting lost on your way back home. So fast forward, on 20th November, I went to Arusha, Tanzania for about a week. On my way back on the 29th, I left Kilimanjaro International Airport in Arusha and I arrived back at Entebbe International, which is the international airport of Uganda. Therefore, upon my arrival at the airport, I noticed that my luggage, the luggage which is normally put on the cargo, the check-in luggage, my biggest form of luggage was left behind at Kilimanjaro International Airport, because when I tried looking around the conveyor belt, for those of you who are avid travelers, you of course know what a conveyor belt is, but for those of you who do not travel, I'll be able to explain to you. So I noticed that my luggage was lost, and then I went to the luggage office. I then filed a complaint to the luggage office, and I told them that, you know what, I'm following all the legal procedures because I did not want to lodge a complaint formally or legally. So they assured me that your luggage is going to be back by tonight. So the 29th of November was a Tuesday, 2022. I arrived in Entebbe at about 3 p.m. and they told me that my luggage is going to be back by 9 p.m. that very day. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, my luggage never appeared at all until Friday in the mid-morning. But in between that time, I lost so much business and I felt like the company ought to compensate me. So your very own lawyer, of course, doing the normal things that Simply Legal does, I had to go and consult the legal statutes, and I found out that actually, in accordance with the Montreal Convention, I think many times I explained to you international law, according to the Montreal Convention, in specific Article 19, gives flight passengers a right to be compensated by the airline for either loss of luggage. In other words, if the airline loses your luggage, you're entitled to a specific package, a specific compensation of money. And also the Article 19 also protects people who have had delayed luggages. So assuming I was moving from Arusha and then I went to Spain and then I came back to Uganda. So if my luggage got lost by Air Tanzania when on my way to Spain, and let's say Spain, I was spending there another week, then they ought to have compensated me for all that week, because in my luggage I had my laptop, my bags, my everything. So I basically could not meet my clients, I could not go to work. So I was basically curtailed, I was handicapped. I went and tried to engage with the country office of Air Tanzania here, and I found out that their head offices are at Park Royal Mall. That's in Kampala. That's in Kampala Metropolitan District. So I tried engaging with them. I told them, look, you guys delayed my luggage. I've lost business, I've gone through a lot of emotional frustration, and all of those were the build-up to the cause of action that I'm currently taking of negligence. As I am stating this lawsuit, me giving the background, I am basically giving you a background of how I'm going to arrive to my lawsuit, because inevitably I'm suing them for negligence. For those of you who might not know what negligence is, you might just be hearing it, but the common word for it is carelessness in the long term. Because by the time I reached Entebbe International, they told me that they left my luggage behind intentionally because their so-called plane was too small to accommodate all the luggage of their clients. So I took it very easy. As you know, a gentleman is expected to take things very easy in today's world. So I took it easy. I tried engaging with the acting country manager. They told me, you know what? The only person who is supposed to give compensation for your luggage is supposed to be the country manager, and currently she's on leave. So us lawyers, even before we take on a lawsuit, the judge is going to ask us, did you try to email the company? Did you try to engage with them in mediation? Did you try to solve issues even before you go to court? I will say yes, because I took all of these steps. I wrote countless emails, but they kept telling me that the country manager is supposed to be doing this compensation. First way forward, I did not get my compensation. The country manager came back on leave. I mean, she came back from leave. I tried engaging with her, but then she kept saying that she's supposed to contact HQ, which is headquarters back in Arusha, because Air Tanzania is their international airline. Just like in Uganda, we have Uganda Airlines. So that arrives me to my point here. What I did is that I wrote to them a demand notice. 2 weeks later, if you really follow my steps methodically, I wrote a demand notice to them through their country offices at Park Royal. I told them that you guys owe me compensation of about $150, because in accordance with the Montreal Convention and according to international flights everywhere, it's a very well-known fact. You're supposed to compensate the passenger whose luggage you've left behind $50 a day. So in my demand notice, I said, you people have caused me a lot of financial loss, emotional damage and everything, loss of business. So you people need to compensate me with $150. I did not get a feedback from Air Tanzania after that, because according to law, every time someone writes you a demand notice, it's not an actual lawsuit, but it's a beginning of all the steps concerning a lawsuit. So I wrote to them, but after 7 days, they did not respond. I wrote to them on the 19th of December, but up to now, I haven't gotten any feedback from them. So that is why I've now decided to sue them for compensation. And it's going to be a hell lot of money, trust me. Because if I've given you all the steps forward, try to engage with you amicably, if I've tried to engage with you in the most gentle way possible and you're just ignoring me, then I'm going to take the law into the law's hands. In other words, I'm going to file a lawsuit in the magistrate's court in Mengo, because that is where the contract was made. I've done many countless videos about contract law, so I'll leave the different links in the description. But you have to sue the company or the person who you're suing in accordance with the jurisdiction under which you contracted with them. So even by virtue, so I now want to take you through the cause of action. The cause of action I'm going for is for negligence. There's a case in point from where negligence came from. So this is the famous case of Donohue versus Stevenson's. This is an 1800 case, but in the case of Donohue versus Stevenson's, it brought out the whole principle of a duty of care and negligence. Just a summary of the case of Donohue versus Stevenson's is that back in the day, in the early centuries in the UK, this gentleman walks into an Irish bar, like a bar in Ireland, and he orders for a bottle of beer. But inside this bottle of beer, the contents that were inside there were not just beer. They were also pieces of a dead snail. So he drinks the beer, and he later notices that the pieces of snail were inside his bottle. So thereafter, he notices, it's like taking a bottle and then you notice that there's a snail in your bottle. He puts down the bottle, he gets so afraid, and then he eventually finds out that he drank a snail. So he suffered emotional damage, and he later on sued the bottling company and the bar under which he was for negligence and a duty of care. So basically the whole case of Donohue versus Stevenson's brings out the part of negligence and a duty of care. What are the major principles when you or a judge are looking at a case of negligence? You're going to look at the defendant, who is a person who you're suing, owed the plaintiff, who is me suing, a duty of care. Secondly, that duty of care was breached, meaning you did not take care to notice that my glass of water had pieces of snail inside it. So by the time, let's say I go to Serena and I've ordered for a glass of water, and then I find out that there's so many termites inside this glass of water, I'm going to sue Serena, because by the time I drink this glass of water and I find out that there are termites inside my body, they're going to damage my internal organs. So I ought to sue the company or person who has served me this drink. So I'm going to sue Serena, and probably probably going to even sue Renzori bottles. So that's what a duty of care basically means. So that is a cause of action under which I'm suing Air Tanzania. I contracted with them according to the law of contract. We have express and implied terms, and according to the implied terms, it is implied that you owe me, your passenger, who has contracted with you and paid my good money, a duty of care, in that you're supposed to ensure that my luggage is way back with me, and it's supposed to find me in the country or destination where I have flown to. To make matters even worse, I filed a complaint with the airlines. They did not even give me a compensation. They lied to me that my luggage was going to be back that very day. It took 3 days. To make even matters worse is that they have not tried to engage with me in the best way possible. They've just been doing everything in their power to come up with a frustration tactic on which I'm going to just give up on this lawsuit. But your very own lawyer is not going to give up on this lawsuit, because I'm going to pursue them and take them on in court. And for God and my country, God is just going to be there with me, and I know that I'm going to win this lawsuit because it's pretty straightforward. It was a breach of contract. There was negligence, which was sheer negligence. The people in the luggages office of Air Tanzania actually told me that my luggage was left behind intentionally. That is what fueled my passion for this lawsuit. So that is basically why I'm suing Air Tanzania. I'm suing them in the Magistrates Court in Mengo, because Mengo Magistrates Court is the one that covers Kampala Business Center, the whole metropolitan part where the major town is. And there I've explained the principle of jurisdiction, I've explained the principle of cause of action, I've explained the principle of negligence, and finally, I've explained the reason as to why you should always sue these big companies. Now, this is off the legal record. My fellow Ugandans and everyone watching and all my viewers on Simply Legal, I would like to implore you and to empower you that the law is here to help you. The law is here to take you on. The law is actually here to help you to be able to recover damages in case of anything. The law is here for you to put criminals in jail. So never be afraid to take on big companies or institutions. The time when I posted my demand notice on social media, a lot of feedback and backlash came. People were discouraging me about this lawsuit, and they were all being negative. But in this life, you need to have a very sound mind, and you need to know that us lawyers are here to help you in the best way possible. In any case, if you want to sue a big corporation, someone who has wronged you, a big company who you may be fearing may maybe eliminate you, do not fear, do not despair. The lawyers are here to help you in the best way possible. Come visit us, file lawsuits, and then we'll be able to recover damages for you. So, thanks so much for listening to me, everyone. It has been a very happy year, although it began on a very serious note, but I would like to ask you to keep me in your prayers. I know we're going to win this lawsuit with Air Tanzania, and I know that we're going to set precedent. We're going to set a landmark, and we're going to set the biggest thing that has ever happened to the legal profession. And for those who are new to my channel, hit the subscribe button. Feel free to hit the comment section. Please tell me what you thought about this video, and tell me what else I should add on in terms of my cause of action. And please let me know what I'm going to do in the next future video. Let me know what you think about this lawsuit, or if you want to be able to attend court sessions with me. And I remain yours truly, Terry Kahuma. Until next time, bye.